Hello all and welcome to another video in my journey to 1 million Gamerscore series, and we are indeed halfway through May, so it's time to bring to you May part 1. And May was tagged as going to be 500,000 May, and as you will see my Gamerscore is only 2,370 off hitting the 500,000, so it's definitely going to happen in the second half of May, and that will be happening live on stream on YouTube. Yes, I have been streaming on Mixer up till now, but it is now time to announce that I am switching my streaming to YouTube. It is obviously where my larger subscriber base is and my larger following is, so it just seems to make sense now that I have the tech. Although the tech is still a little bit ropey at the moment, we are working on it, so they may be shorter streams than they would have been on Mixer, but they are more engaging streams too, which is the most important thing. So just a thank you so far to the people that have joined in with the streams so far on YouTube. Plenty of interaction, plenty of comments, some likes as well, so it's all highly appreciated by myself. So with all that, let's just nip over to the games and show you indeed what I have been getting so far in May. And as I always do in these videos, I like to start in chronological order, and that will take me all the way down to Time Umari Complete Edition. Yes, got the full 1000G in this. I started playing it without the input of a cheat code which you can obtain, and then I decided once I got to a certain point to input that cheat code so that I could get through it a lot quicker. Basically, the cheat code that I inputted was God mode. You can find guides online for that will tell you exactly how to do that cheat, and also within that guide they will tell you where to get all the hidden objects within the levels should you miss any, because I did in a couple of occasions miss a few pieces. Like, what were they called? There you go, collect wrenches, collect all shields in some levels, so I did miss the odd one in both of those, for example. However, there was another one where you had to collect mirrors, I think, and I managed to get all of those. So yes, my suggestion to you, if you want to get this completion done quick, is look for a guide online so that it will tell you where all the hidden objects are in the level so you don't miss any, and also throw it in God mode so you can literally just blast through the levels without dying. The only way you can die should you input the cheat is if you fall down a gap. But to be honest with you, it was a fun game, fun 8-bit looking side-scrolling platformer which threw in a couple of shooting up elements, shooting up sections in the game. A lot of fun this one. Had some time with it, but I did just want to speed it up with the God mode cheat. I would imagine if you use that cheat off the bat, then you're going to get through it in probably a couple of hours if you follow the guide, also to make sure you don't miss any collectibles in the levels. But if you don't, I must admit I probably extended my completion time to about 5 to 6 hours because I started without it for a bit of fun, and it is a fun game, so it does deserve a little bit of your play naturally without cheating, I would say. Anyway, above that, so he talks about cheat codes and not using them, and then tells you to use another one. Doug Hates His Job. This is a game which is largely a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but it does have a couple of other elements where it throws in sections like an FPS and a section where you have to answer 7 out of 10 questions correctly to move on. Again, if you use a guide for this one, it will help you greatly because it will tell you how to input a level select code or scene select code, and then you can skip straight to the scene that you need for each achievement. If you do that, it will also give you some hints and tips along the way as to where all the missable stuff is, but I think if you use the scene select, then the missable stuff then doesn't become so much of a problem. Some of the levels even with scene select are a little bit frustrating, but it's just a case of muscle memory and replaying them over again. But yeah, use that level select sheet and you can just skip straight to the scenes. When you get to the question section, if you don't know the answer straight away off the bat, you can actually pause it, Google it, and then carry on basically and input the correct answer. But use the scene select sheet and you can get this done in a couple of hours. If you don't and you want to play through all of the scenes, I would suggest using the guide so that you don't miss any achievements with regards to some being missable. But if you want to play through the entire game, then you're going to add a couple of hours to your time, probably around somewhere between the 4 to 5 hours mark. But a couple of hours if you use the scene selection cheat and jump straight to the scenes, because a couple of sections can be a little bit on the tricky side. Okay, we play some more Streets of Rage 4, so we're going to just pop into this and pick up from where I left off in the last video in this series. And if we look for the date of the 1st, but not quite the 1st, because I played it over the stroke of midnight when I was playing as Axel. I believe that was where I got to at the end of last video. So I was able to get an S rank in a stage which pleased me greatly, because after I'd done my Axel run I decided to pick Adam, who you will unlock through your first run, and I was able to get an S rank in the stage, even on easy. So yeah, keep your combats high, try not to lose that much energy, and yeah, you may get an S rank. In fact, you'll get many S ranks if you unlock all Streets of Rage 3 characters and use Shiva and spam a certain move, because he does a lot of hit combos and makes it tough for the enemies to hit you if you do the double tap punch move, I think, and just spam that. Anyway, use a chandelier to kill an enemy. I learnt where the point was on my first playthrough and then remembered it on my second playthrough. Basically, the end of this castle type building, and I think there's only 2 chandelier points in it. Just, yeah, there's a rope at the back, and you need to basically punch the rope at the back and it will drop the chandelier. Just time it with the one small enemy that starts walking forward straight away, and you'll pop that achievement, no problem. Obviously, as I said, after I unlocked Adam, I was Adam. Adam was always my go-to in the first Streets of Rage, so I kind of wanted to be him as soon as I unlocked him. So I've done my playthrough with Adam, and I managed to get the barrel or grenade explosion to kill 3 enemies in my playthrough as Blaze. That probably come more naturally or by accident at some point. Obviously, the grenades are dropped by certain enemies. There are barrels in certain points as well. And then obviously completed with Blaze, I completed with Cherry. Discovered a retro level. Now, I wasn't actually aware of this, despite it being well publicised online. I wasn't actually looking online at the game while I was playing it. But yeah, there's certain sections in levels where you can go to a little room that has an arcade machine which has bare knuckle on the side, which is obviously what it was called in Japan. And if you break that machine, you then enter a retro level as in one of the very old Streets of Rage games, and you fight a boss from it. So just do that, and that achievement there will unlock. So play for the game as Floyd as well. It's the last of the 5 main characters as such. I decided to do those main 5 first, before moving on to being a Streets of Rage 1 character, because as you play through, you sort of build up a points progressional bar, and you'll unlock sort of all the Streets of Rage 1 characters first, then 2, and then 3. So by the time I'd done all my 5 playthroughs, I'd nearly unlocked every character from all the games, just like 1 or 2 missing from Streets of Rage 3, because I do it in numerical order unlocking. So I was a Streets of Rage 1 character. I believe I picked Adam again, and when you use your special as a Streets of Rage 1 character, it brings out the police car like it does in the first game, and it will pop that achievement real easily. Obviously then finished it with the Streets of Rage 1 character, which was Adam. Hit an ally. I played some co-op with a good friend of mine, so thank you, Dane, for letting me punch you. But right at the very beginning of the game, but it turns out if you've got friendly fire on, you're probably going to accidentally hit each other at some point anyway. Read this achievement and then realised where the golden chicken was. You'll see it in the art gallery when you break this little thing in the middle of a room. You'll see the golden chicken pop out. If you use it as a weapon, it then breaks and disappears. If you throw it by accident, which I did the very first time I went for this achievement, it will also disappear. So you basically have to pick it up, press a button to drop it down, but if you press a directional button at any point, you will throw it. So you kind of have to stand still, hold no directional button, press B, I think it is, and then you'll put it down, then defeat all the enemies in the room, go back, pick it up, move it along until you get out of the building, and then you'll be in the stock room, and that's when that achievement will unlock. Not difficult, you just have to be aware that it's there. I think it might be one of the hidden ones, not entirely sure. Yep, so unlocked the Streets of Rage 2 character and 3 character, completed those with one of the characters, and then I got this one at the top, which I was quite chuffed about. I would suggest that you wait until you've unlocked all Streets of Rage 3 characters, because the very last character will be Shiva, and then on Mania you can spam that double tap forward attack move where he flips basically and hits in front of him, behind him. If you just spam the hell out of that, you will actually be able to get through that that Mania difficulty if you pick the first level on easy as well, which is what I did. Okay, so Streets of Rage 4. After that, what did we play? We didn't play this. This was already done. I just revisited it to play Final Fight as part of my Fighting with 5 Lives series. This isn't a difficult completion at all. It's basically completing all of the games, and then you have to be in an online game for all 7 games. So basically, once the match starts, it counts as being in that specific game's online game, and then you can leave it straight away. So if you can't find a game, just create one, wait for someone to join you, and then have the, and when they leave, then you can leave as well. Okay, River City Ransom. This one took ages because you have to farm coins to get the achievements that aren't just menu related, and I say that because you get about 600 just by flicking through the menus in all of these games. Change your avatar, done in the main menu before you start the game, as is change your backgrounds, as is turn on reverb and sound options, as is adjust scan lines. And then the last one you do before you start playing a game is create your own private match. You don't even have to have anyone join. Literally the moment you create it and the room is there, the achievement unlock, you can disband the room and just leave it straight away before anyone has even joined. Okay, so when you start the game, pause it. this is where you'll find the control menus. You need to start a game and pause it. You'll see the option control menus. It's basically a tutorial with still pictures. Just flick through them all, and then that one will unlock. And then we start the game. The sushi bar is in the first street, and you will need quite a few coins to buy all of them in that, but not as many as another room later, and the special techniques which are above. So yes, when I learnt what the sushi bar was, I just kept going back to the first area until I had enough, went forward and then bought some more. And the sushi bar will replenish your energy as well, so you can bear that in mind too. It's worth noting with all of these games that are in this 7-game series of these little retro beat 'em ups, there is a suspend save you can use at any time. So every time you get past a bit without losing any life or doing really well, just make a suspend save. So if you screw up or you get too far behind energy that you want to go, you can just then pop back and get it all back again, basically. But yeah, that sushi bar is in the first street. I just kept going back to the first section, getting more coins, because you get coins every time you beat an enemy, depending on their difficulty, until I had enough to buy everything, and then that one there was done. Like it says, no passwords reset cannot be used, but suspend save is fine. Special techniques are books that you buy in stores that are dotted throughout the game. I went on True Achievements and very kindly got a list of the books required to get all the skills that you need, or the name of all the books for the skills that you need, and then was aware of what I needed. So as I accumulated coins and found the books, every time I went to the shop, I just pulled out all the books I need. I think you need about 5 of them, and then you will have to pause it, go into your inventory and read them, I think, for it to count towards the achievement. So just bear that in mind. And then the tough one, buy all the items in the Merlin's Mystery Shop. You need a hell of a lot of coins for this. I would suggest doing what I did. There's a section where there's a road sort of in a tunnel perhaps, and if you line yourself up with the 4th white piece in the middle of the road, you know, the segregation part of the road, and we'll just walk up, a mystery door opens, and that is where Merlin's shop is. But you need like something like 360 coins or something to buy everything in there. So there's a section where once you've got all the books and powered yourself up, I would suggest then going for farming your coins out. Just remember, multiple suspend staves all along throughout the game as well. I would then suggest you basically farm coins by beating these 2 big twins in a section nearby. Again, use a guide to tell you where that is. I think True Achievements told me where that section was, and it was a fantastic section to use. That would take a long time to farm up coins for that. Just remember to make multiple suspend staves just in case you screw up at any point and not lose all your energy, because if you lose all your energy and die, whatever coins you have gets halved. That is well worth noting. So once you have unpopped that 9th achievement, the unlock all achievements won't actually pop while you're in game. The only way that I've found to get around this, and it's worked every time because I've done another game since I've done a game before this as well, is to literally quit the game, go to the home screen, press start on it, make sure you go down to quit so it's not already loaded, it's still loaded in the background. Then when you re-enter the game, the achievement will pop. Okay, that one needed a bit of explaining. Played some Unreal Tournament 3, it's backwards compatible, and this was a really enjoyable game. It was a really enjoyable game. It's basically Gears of War in first person perspective. Even a lot of the characters make a striking resemblance to them. So all I've done in this, there's a lot of online achievements on this, and there's a lot of multiplayer achievements on this as well. They might be able to be done against the bots. I don't know. I started the campaign. Complete chapter 1 will unlock very quickly. There's not many sections in chapter 1. There's a lot of sections in chapter 2. I spent about 2 hours with this. More, about somewhere between 3 or 4 hours with this game in one night, and I only got to the end of chapter 2. But by the looks of it, there's 5 chapters, because you've got complete chapter 3, complete chapter 4, and then defeat Aska and complete the campaign. So maybe there's a 5th chapter with a boss at the end of it. So yeah, I do need to return to this. It is a fun game. I have no problems returning to this as well. But all I've done is complete chapters, and it took those 2 chapters, and it took somewhere between 3 to 4 hours from what I can remember. But good game, very good game. Okay, above that, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've got nothing against Star Wars. To me, they're fine. They're okay. I can enjoy them, but I'm not big into Star Wars. But it was May the 4th, so I thought I'd get into it. Sadly, I just couldn't enjoy the game. It just seemed to be a lot of time to get between sections, quite open, and doing the same stuff over and over again. And I don't mind doing a lot of the same stuff if I'm enjoying the game, but I just wasn't enjoying the game. But I picked a couple out of it, got a couple out of it, and I'll get back to that top one in a minute. But yeah, I played it, and in the first level I got the frenzy bonus ×4, ×8 and ×12. That is really easy to get. I mean, my first playthrough was just going to be on casual, I think, the very lowest level, because I just wanted to play through it. So I complete the prologue, I completed level 1, Tie Factory Act 1, and then I remembered this achievement, kill 12 Stormtrooper as Vader during the prologue, and realised that I didn't get it. And so I started the game again, and there's a couple of Stormtroopers when you start, but there's a section where you go through this massive wooden door, which you've got to break through. But in that section before it, there's a couple of Stormtroopers, and if you kill them, before you go through that door, just wait, and then 2 more respawn, and they'll keep coming, so you're able just to keep killing them until you've had the achievement unlocked for getting 12 Stormtroopers. I will probably return to this game at some point. I might play it in chunks just because I'm not enjoying it, because obviously you'll get quite a few achievements for just playing through it, but I'm not sure if I'll go for the full 1,000 or a second playthrough on a higher difficulty. Okay, I had planned to play a lot of FIFA 10 during this month, but I've only played a fraction of it, so I'll try and play some more of it in the second half. But a lot of the achievements in this are going to be lengthy to get. There's a lot of them that involve being online or connected to a server, and obviously the server for this game is gone. So I just nipped a few out of it quickly. I knew of the score 5 goals in one arena kickabout and 20 goals in one arena kickabout, so I just did that off the bat. I don't know if you have to do it all in one go. If you are going to go for this, I would suggest just stay there until you've got the 20 goals, just in case you have to do it all in one mode. I'm pretty sure you don't. I read that work on skills your practice mode was a 10G achievement, so I just went into that and got that one done. So I played a few games in career mode, but not many. I was able to score a goal that went in off the bar, but it can go in off the post as well, so I unlocked that. And then I knew there was one for creating a virtual pro, and literally I just entered it and mashed the start through it, and just whatever was there, and then once he was made, that unlocked. But there's achievements for playing an entire season, I think, with without simming matches and things like that. I need to get back into it and have a look, but as you'll see, there's a lot of these that involve doing things online. A lot of things like this, win a tournament with a 1-star team or pro difficulty or higher. In the last game, it was on any difficulty. On this game, it's on professional difficulty, so that is going to be tough. But I will have a go at some more of these achievements, like complete a manager mode season without single game for 45G is something that I would like to go for, because it is just a matter of playing it, but it will take a long time. I might pick the league with the lowest amount of teams and just do it like that. But I think there's another achievement related to being one of the top of the league. There's an achievement somewhere for being a league or a team in the top league, so I might have to pick one of the top 5 leagues in order to get that one. I'll need to research into that. As I say, I haven't looked into it too deeply. I just pulled out some more from it and was gonna sink into it quite a bit this month, but haven't really done so far. Accidentally started that on my phone, so no need to talk about that. There's nothing new been added to that for a long time. I just have it on my phone for if I'm ever in a situation where I've got no internet and I need to keep my achievement a day streak going for the year, which by the way I have done. I have an achievement every day this year so far, including today. Task Force Campers, a vertical scrolling shooter, very easy. This is my test stream on YouTube. It's I had some issues, so you won't be able to find the stream on my channel anymore. But we did do it on YouTube, and we did get all the 1000G in less than an hour. Collect 6 Cocos, these little dragon things that appear every now and again, like in the thumbnail for the achievement there. They look like that. That'll be the last one you get. Die 5 times, kill 1,000 enemies, collect 30 of them, 3 bosses. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in one playthrough. It can be the first one over and over again. First one is quite tricky, but you just have to basically obviously learn his patterns and such. There is a name of ship which eludes me, but it's pink in colour. This is when it comes to picking your ship, by the way, that regenerates its health if you're not firing, so that's a good one to pick, because obviously if you've taken a lot of damage, just go on the dodge mode and wait for that to build back up before you start shooting again. But your high score of 250,000 might be a little tricky. You'll have to beat the first boss and get a little bit past it, but as soon as you have got the score, you have to die for the achievement to unlock. But as soon as you've got past it, just be aware that it will unlock once your game is over. So yes, very simple. A lot of these achievements will pop very quickly, very early on straight, and a lot of them are cumulative. And there you go, dying once as well. Survive 4 minutes is also one that might be tricky, but there is a timer top right for you to use. But yeah, if you use that ship which regenerates its health, then that one will become real easy for sure. Okay, above that, Gears of War 2. Normally it's nothing to add, because I just like playing Gears, which is what we're going to say about Gears of 4 and skip past. Well, I've already said it, so no need to do that. But there are still a couple of achievements I'm missing, and I was able to get one. won 3 matches of Wingman, not custom. So basically you have to be in an Xbox Live mode. So there's Xbox Live Social and Xbox Live Ranked. I decided to play Wingman on Xbox Live Social to see what would happen, and as you can imagine, not a lot of people are playing this, so I was just up against bots with the Wingman as a bot as well. So yes, sometimes your Wingman can not be of great help when it's a bot, and even though you are up against bots, you can obviously get a little bit overrun. So I didn't win every match straight away. I think I played about 7 and was able to pick up 3 wins with the help of my bot Wingman, believe it or not, sometimes coming really strong for me and sometimes not at all. So that was really nice just to go back to this game and pick that achievement up. The 5 that I've got left are quite lengthy, and to be honest with you, they are all doable as long as that server just still stays open. And to be honest with you, the Gears ones generally are holding up quite well and will stay open for quite some time, I hope, still, due to the popularity of the franchise and its online community. So yes, I'm actually quite surprised Gears 2 is still going, to be honest with you, just a little bit. Okay, like I said, Gears of War 4, just revisiting it for a bit of fun, no need to add to anything here. Ritu is a very 8-bit looking side-scrolling platformer. All of the achievements in this are for finding secret areas. There are 3 of those, and all the remaining achievements are all for finding things within levels. But if you jump into walls and things like that, then you'll come across them yourself, but using a guide might be a thing. What I did with regards to using a guide, I didn't actually use one as I was playing. I made notes of where every hidden item and every secret level was, rather than watching the guide. Just wrote them all down, like level 4 secret room, such and such, like that. And then you'll also get the level that you know you need to play up to. You don't have to play through all of them, but it's quite a high level that you have to get up to still, and then you'll know where they all are, so you can do the exploring yourself. And then if you still get stuck and can't find it, then just perhaps refer to a YouTube guide. But not too bad at completion, this one. It was about 3 hours. I had achievement bug out on me and for some reason not unlocked, despite the fact I was in the secret room. But then magically 2 days later it just unlocked. It appeared as unlocked. So if you have any issues despite finding stuff on this game, that might be something to be aware of. Okay, played Hyperdot thanks to my Game Pass subscription, and got a few achievements out of this. This is not going to be an easy completion by any means at all. So yes, you're basically a dot in a circle and you have to avoid objects, and the patterns are random in some levels, they are fixed in others, but there are patterns there to avoid. So beating 5 levels, that's not difficult at all. The first 5 are quite tame. Getting to 25 isn't too bad as well. Dying 10 times in a row is something you can farm out, but you will probably come across that level where it will become that difficult that it will happen. But if you want to farm it out, you can very early on. Die 200 times, you can also farm this out. I decided to go for one of the specific achievements outside the campaign mode and played it for about 2 hours one night and just couldn't do it. You had to survive 45 seconds, and I got to 43 once, I got to 40 loads of times, 39 countless times, which couldn't get to 45. So unfortunately that one I had to give up on. But in doing so I managed to die 200 times, so at least something came out of it. Use power up 300 times. They'll become obvious when you get into the levels with the power-ups. And then I was aware that if you create a level in Level Editor, that was an achievement, so I made sure I created one that had at least 3 enemy waves and that had at least 4 modifiers in it, so that I got them as well. That is a specific level in campaign. Die in Know the Ledge. I nearly said knowledge. In Know the Ledge. I picked that up by accident, but just be aware of the name of that level, so you can die in it if you do pass it first time. Just repeat it and die. Beat 50 levels, that was quite tricky-ish, but there was one level during the 40s which held me up for ages. I'm so pleased when I got past it. Move 50 kilometres. It's worth knowing the achievements tracking this as well, so you have a progressional bar for all of them. If you're in a situation where there's nothing happening, just move your circle in a circle sort of in the middle and just help add stuff to it. Collect 500 tokens. I actually farmed this out in Level Editor. I made a level which had minimal enemies and just minimal everything, large space and everything, and 10 tokens was the most that I could set it up to, as in collect within the level, and I was basically getting 10 tokens in as many seconds, so I was able to farm out collecting tokens. But you may get it through natural gameplay, because there's some levels where you have to collect tokens. Even if you die and don't finish the level, they still count towards this achievement, but you can farm it out in Level Editor. I've got up to 80 levels. I believe I'm on 83 right now, but there were some levels leading up to 80 in the 70s that were really hard and took me a while to beat. Some of them had fixed patterns, so fortunately I was able just to have a bit of muscle room and get through it, but yeah, it was real tough. Take away the 2 hours that I spent wasting my time trying to get one specific achievement out of the non-campaign levels, then I will probably put around about 3 to 4 hours into this. So yes, add another couple of hours for my failure if you wish. Your Shape Fitness Evolved. Yes, I decided to crank the Connect out because I have been furloughed. I've been indoors for many a day, and I think it was time to get fit as well. So why not do it while getting some achievements? Although there is a trick you can do to burn calories. We'll get to that in a second. But as you'll see, there is some games you have to do. So 800 in Virtual Smash, 500 in Light Race, 300 in Hoop. In Loop a Hoop, which is the easiest one of the lot, and 500 in Stack Up. One of these was probably this one here that is rare, but these can all be done on easy, on the easiest one. So just have to learn what everything is and just get your rhythm going, because they always seem to appear in sort of patterns as well. If there's a left, there's going to be a right at the same height and things like that. So they weren't too difficult. A couple of them took a few attempts. So, and then go to the classes, just finish one. That's just moving your body around in positions. That I quite enjoyed, the cardio boxing, I must admit. So I went through all of those and unlocked the last one. I would suggest perhaps go through all of them, unlocking the whole class. You just have to finish them. You don't actually have to do them with a certain percentage just to finish them, because then the timer on that is the longest. And what I learned is, after burning 100 calories, doing the fitness test, which I forgot I hadn't done, just nipped into that, just did that again, that will just unlock. And then when it comes to burning calories, you can actually, you don't have to do the position that it says on the screen. You can just stand on the spot and flail your arms like sort of in a windmill motion, and it will pick up the movement and then burn calories. And I was doing that during the full class cardio boxing timer, which is about 12 minutes, and doing 150 calories every time without really trying. So basically I've just got to go back to that and flail my arms around a lot to unlock a lot more out of it. Supergenius, a nice little fun take on the Minesweeper game, where you're that little dude and you have to make your way along a path by working out in Minesweeper fashion where all the mines are. And yes, this took a few hours. I think it took probably took about anywhere between 6 and 8, because a lot of it is just getting through, because you have to, there you go, finish all advanced levels 3 stars, and then you have to finish all levels with 3 stars, and there are levels that you have to do specific things like LS5, which is an advanced level. You have to get through it without using any flags. There are some where you have to flag every square correctly before you finish, and there are some where you have to get through without falling asleep, which basically means if you stand still without moving him for about 10 seconds, he sort of falls asleep on the spot. There is an achievement for actually having to fall asleep 3 times in a level, so just be aware of that. There is also an achievement for finishing a level with 1 star. Every time you hit a mine, it takes a star away, so basically you have to finish a level without hitting any mines to get 3 stars. And there is an achievement for finishing a level with 1 star, and if you finish a level with 3 stars, it won't unlock. You literally have to finish the level with 1 star. So just in one of those very early levels, just hit mines deliberately twice, one of those really easy ones, and then finish it before hitting a 3rd mine. This one will take a lot of time. There's cumulative ones as well, sweep 5,000 blocks. You may find that comes along the way. If you're a lot cleverer than I am and you still need that, you can just farm it out by playing some of the early levels. But there you go, listen, use your flags correctly on JS5. But some of those levels on advanced where you have to do certain things can be a little bit tricky, but it's just a case of perseverance. Sadly, you can't use a guide for that because all the levels are randomized, so they will not give you the same formation every time, but will give you the same size grid. So unfortunately that is a thing that you can't just use a guide for. Right, Explosive Jake, a Bomberman clone that is super easy. I streamed this. I think it took me 3.5 hours to do the whole game on stream here on YouTube, and it's like basically an achievement for every level. There are 40 achievements worth 25G each, and every time you finish a level you quite simply get an achievement. It says up to level 39, but it counts level 0 as a level, so there are 40 levels, but then they're numbered 0 to 39 rather than 1 to 40. Don't know why that is, but it is a very cheap looking Bomberman clone. It is quite fun. If you like Bomberman, then you'll get on fine with this. Basically in every level you have to find a key, which is behind a block that you blow open, and same for the door, which is behind a block which you have to blow up to open. Obviously it gets a little bit progressively difficult. Sometimes you have to walk over buttons to open doors, but the buttons you don't have to find, they are in plain sight. But yeah, it's just a case of getting through the levels. It really is just a case of getting through the levels. They're not too challenging, they're not too difficult. Some are alright, some are a little bit challenging towards the end and cause a little bit of frustration, but just take your time, be patient, and it's not a difficult completion at all. But it took me 3.5 hours, pretty much to the dot, so about 3.5 to 4 hours for most people, I would imagine. Grizzland is a very 8-bit looking black and white and grey side-scrolling platformer. I used a guide for this from the channel The Hidden Levels. You can find that guide in guides I've used with 100% success and can vouch for playlist on my channel. It's a really good guide because you have to find lots of little things. It gives you tips for the bosses as well. Like I said, his guide runs about 20 minutes. He even says it'll probably take you about 45 because I always say allow for pausing when you're following guides. So that's pretty much bang on as well. I think it took me around about the hour mark because I had a little bit more difficulty with the bosses than he did. But as I say, it's a bang on guide. Find it in that playlist and it's not too difficult. And then Gem Smashers. I did stream this. It took me 2.5 hours. Pretty much pick your character. I picked the little red dude there, bottom right hand corner, and I say that because there is an achievement for beating a boss without getting hit, and the first level boss that he faces is probably the easiest one in the game, and that was where I fortunately got that straight away. There's a few miscellaneous achievements like doing 3 levels consecutively without dying, so just beware of that. And then you don't have to get every star in every level to get onto the next level. There's achievement for finishing the main story, so just you have to get at least 2, but you can die multiple times to the level and the level just never resets, so it's pretty much just play through it to a degree. Basically what you do is you turn a colour to smash a gem of the same colour, and there are switches to turn you into the right colour to smash the other gems that are obviously the colour that you are not currently, sort of thing. There's achievements for changing colour so many times, smashing so many gems and things like that. A lot of it you'll pick up along the way. After you've done your main story playthrough, you'll need one more achievement, which is to start with the other 2 characters you haven't picked and complete their respective first world. Each character's first world is different, so don't be alarmed if it's different from the last one. I got a little bit worried that I was playing the wrong area, but the achievement says finish the first level with every character, and that is exactly what I did, but not too tough a completion this one. 2.5 hours was my exact time, which is going to be about right for most people. And then above that, finally Double Dragon. I put a lot of time into doing this one. Again, as with River City Ransom earlier, change your avatar, change your background, adjust scan lines, create your own private match, open control menus. I actually forgot to change the reverb and sound options. I had to back out of the game to get that one quickly. But this one is in-game. The others are all pre-game. And you press start, find control menus, flick through the menu, or flick through all of the manuals that are all stills, and then that achievement will unlock. Clear mission 1 won't be too difficult at all. Every time you finish a mission, you will get your life replenished, so just bear that in mind, because once all your lives are gone, it is game over. There are no continues. What I would say is make suspend saves all of the time. Literally, if you finish a section without dying or without losing any health so that your health gets replenished, just make a suspend save. You then start struggling a level and you lose a lot of energy on the first couple of enemies. Beat those first couple of enemies and keep all your energy, and then make a suspend save so you do not have to do that again. You can literally beat an enemy, make a save, an enemy, make a save, all of the time. So I would do that because you have to clear mode A, and boy did I have a lot of trouble with that very last level. There was a guy with a gun which gave me a lot of grief, and when I beat him I thought I was finally done with the game, and lo and behold, a zombie version of my brother came out, and he was hard as well. I only had 40 seconds to beat him, and you have to get a lot of heavy attacks in, so you could do with as much time as possible. So I would suggest in that last level where all the enemies come out, work out which best attack is to take them on with. Some of them it's a flying kick, some of them you can just spam a regular attack and they will walk into it. If you use the kick, it's got slightly longer range than a punch, and then you can get them done quickly. Work out which attack you can get each enemy that comes out of the doors quickly with, and then make a suspend save. Maybe you can make up to 4, so if you're worried about making a suspend save that isn't as good as the last one, use all your 4 slots to your advantage. As I say, it took me a long while to do this and figure out how to beat each enemy in that last section, especially the last 2, the geezer with the gun and the zombie brother of mine. When I finally did it, Jesus Christ, that pop was such a pleasure to see. Obviously I had a little bit of trouble when I was playing through the game with certain things. I was a little bit rusty at it, so I'd like to make a personal thank you to the great John Zini, who was in the comments section of that video and was very helpful throughout. And then there is a mode called Character Mode B, where you have to basically, when you go into Character Mode B, you end up with sort of a one-on-one fighter with an mirror version of yourself. So if you pick Billy, you will fight Billy. If you pick one of the enemies who I forget the names of, like there's 6 enemies, some of them 6 characters, and some of them are the enemies from the game, and you'll fight yourself still. So I did it all, and I beat all characters, and it didn't unlock, and I was like, well, that's a bit odd. But it then had come to my knowledge that I did go back to the main menu at some point. So I kind of think you have to do all 6 without it says reset cannot be used, so it obviously means you can't even quit to the main menu. It obviously means you can't accidentally enter the other mode as well, perhaps, because I did that. I accidentally picked mode A once. That might have reset it as well. So what I would do is go into mode B, pick your first character. I would start with the geezer bottom right. He's the only one that can't jump, and I learnt that if you double tap forward, you do a sort of run move again, and the opponent starts with more health as well. So if you get to a point where you get level, perhaps make a suspend save. Every time you knock a block off and stay ahead, perhaps make another suspend save. You can make saves, that is fine, but I had to keep making a lot of suspend saves in the end. And then what I did is every time I beat a character, I made a suspend save. So if I started the next one and lost, I would just reload the previous one in case losing nullified the achievement as well. I can't be entirely sure of that. So I'll just make my way through them all one by one, making suspend saves, backing out to the menu without starting the other mode by accident, hopefully, and eventually once I'd gone through all 6, the achievement did unlock. Basically, after that first go, all the others do flying kicks, and I found that using the flying kicks was the most effective way to basically, well, beat your opponent that is actually yourself. But yeah, a lot of the fights you will start actually slightly behind with health. That is just what happens. But yeah, Christ, that took a while as well, about an hour or so. So yeah, clearing mode A is going to be difficult if you do it without making suspend saves. You will need to make suspend saves, I would say, unless you're very, very good at the game. So yes, I spent a lot of hours with this. I spent about 6, I think. So I'm going to put this in a wide bracket, 6 to 8 must use suspend saves. I did also have the problem of not all achievements unlocking. So I had to basically, go back to the main menu of my Xbox, quit the game, and then re-enter the game and that achievement unlocked. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I've done in the first half of May so far, and the 500,000 is going to happen. It is going to happen. I'm only a couple of thousand off, 2,370 off. It is going to happen, and I'm looking forward very much to hitting it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that just leaves me to say thank you to everyone, by the way, who's watched, commented, took part. If you wish to ask any question on any game, please put it in the comment section below. That is where I answer all questions. And then finally, thank you very much for watching. And as always, please do take care.